Hello, everybody. I am the Dark Conservatarian, and I am with Dabbing Man Speaks, the Crusader. And before we get started, I have a few announcements to make. Damn it! I forgot to fucking mute my browser for the stream here.
The title of the stream. I just got notified on my computer. The title for the stream. Dank DarkCon.
Yeah, that's kind of the intended purpose.
I love that title.
Because you know how Trump is such a big-time womanizer, and it's asking, should Trump pull out? Yes. Of Iraq and Syria? Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Anyway, oh yeah, we're getting a dirty start off with this stream. Anyway, so before I get started with the news, announcements first. So some of you might know I made like a response video or a review video to S-Man Speaks. We will be having a debate on Tuesday at approximately 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Do not miss that debate. We're going to be doing it on my channel while we did not negotiate on whose channel it would be happening. But you don't mind if we have it on my channel, do you, S-Man?
I don't really give a fuck, in all honesty. I'll just for the record, though, I will keep DarkCon posted in case anything comes up. But for the record, everybody, DarkCon is literally fake news.
Well, that's what...
I'm joking.
Okay, so that's the schedule that we have so far for right now. Is 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time Tuesday. Me and S-Man will be talking for the 12 billionth time about abortion. Okay.
Hopefully the audio isn't an abortion.
Yes. As he said on Twitter. Hopeful, and also throughout the rest of the week, I have a whole bunch of other news that I wanted to get to, so stay tuned for that. But for right now, we are on Strike Force number 069, and I just noticed that we have the 69. It's 69 with a dirty title in the front here. Should Trump pull out?
Nice.
Yep.
Golden.
Yes, DarkCon.
But the reason, okay, so but the reason why we ask should Trump pull out is because this has to do with foreign policy. So should Trump pull out of Iraq and Syria? Is what we were talking about. We are not talking about sex. People, get your mind out of the gutter.
Says the one who suggested the title. Get your degeneracy out of this Christian live stream.
Even though I myself, with the title, and we all have forced your head into the gutter with the title and whatnot, it's still, we're talking about foreign policy. I mean, I kind of made it dirty on purpose so that maybe my subscribers would go like, oh, wait, what? Actually click on the damn stream. So
clickbait.
Yes, more or less. But then again, it's not clickbait because pull out is also a term for foreign policy and military, you know?
Yeah, don't read the chat. Don't read the group chat, JJ.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw it in Discord.
No, I mean on this Hangout.
Oh. Fuck it, I'm doing it because you told me not to.
That's the point.
Okay, so, anyway. U.S. troops to remain in Iraq and Syria to ensure enduring defeat of ISIS. This by Patrick Goodenough of CNSnews.com. And the reason why I wanted to go over this article with you guys is because I'm having mixed feelings, which we will explain a little bit more later on as we get later into this article. Excuse me. CNSnews.com. 2 days after the State Department reiterated that U.S. forces will remain in Syria until the enduring defeat of ISIS, the spokesman for the U.S.-led anti-ISIS coalition made a similar commitment regarding Iraq. Oh, excuse me.
What the fuck?
Sorry, I do not know what is up with me, but for some reason I have like a whole bunch of gas when I do.
You just nutted. You just nutted.
Yeah, that is totally the story. It's fake news, everybody. Zach Edwards does not nut on stream. Believe me.
Your other stream would like to have a word with you. Yeah.
You're talking about the dark cancer?
No, your gaming stream where you.
Oh
Where you made all those moans and all those grunts.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. You two, shut the fuck up. I know you two from like beginning to end. We'll keep troops there in Iraq as long as we think they're needed. Reuters quoted Colonel Sean Ryan as telling reporters at the U.S. Embassy in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Yes. The main reason after ISIS is defeated militarily is a stabilization efforts, and we still need to be there for that. So that's one of the reasons we'll maintain a presence, Ryan added. For people wondering, not Paul Ryan, Sean Ryan, Colonel Sean Ryan. There are currently some 5,200 U.S. troops in Iraq and around 2,000 in Syria. NATO leaders at their recent summit in Brussels agreed to set up a non-combat training mission to train Iraqis to better equip their own troops in a bid to prevent the Sunni jihadists of ISIS or similar terrorist groups from re-emerging. Canada... okay, if you guys want to interject at any time, just go ahead and start speaking. Cut me off. Okay, it's not that long. Canada offered to head up the mission, and Australia, Finland, and Sweden were first to make contribution commitments. The move came after Defense Secretary James Mattis early this year, at Iraq's request, called on NATO colleagues to help efforts to stabilize Iraq as combat operations against ISIS were being wound down. Ryan said Sunday that depending on when NATO partners' forces arrive to take up the new training mission, the number of U.S. troops in Iraq could be reduced. In Syria, meanwhile, U.S. troops are helping the Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, mop up ISIS remnants in the area of Hajin, however you pronounce that, a town near the border with Iraq. The ongoing Operation Roundup, launched last May 1st, is designed to defeat ISIS in the remaining territory it holds in the area known as the Middle Euphrates River Valley.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, you know, we look at the war on terror since late 2001, and we notice that, you know, whether they've had a troop surge or downpour or whatever, it's been a stalemate. Honestly, you know, the United States has been fighting proxy wars all over the planet. They've been fighting, you know, a pointless war where it's like, you know, if we wouldn't have done these bullshit interventions, we wouldn't have to be dealing with ISIS. You know, and the foreign policies of these previous administrations have started that crisis.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. That's why I'm kind of having mixed feelings. Like, it was because of our interventionism of why. It's because of our own interventionism in the first place as to why ISIS was created. But at the same time, what also helped big time for the rise of ISIS was when we got out and created a power vacuum for them. I mean, in principle, I am supportive of the idea of us pulling out of Iraq and Syria, but at the same time, it makes me go wondering, are we going to create another power vacuum for some other big force to take over the region and that the Kurds would be struggling against and whatnot?
And I say that's not our problem, honestly. I know this might make me sound like a cold motherfucker, but I don't give a shit about what happens in the Middle East. I mean, we have no real right to complain about tyranny and abuse of power, human rights violations, considering the fact that we've backed those things all the time, and that at the end of the day, that you know, if we would not have done this, things would probably have been better off today. We wouldn't have to be dealing with this.
Would you say that you are for us like giving support, training, and other support to the Kurds so that they can like stave off ISIS and whatnot?
I don't know, but okay? I don't know entirely a whole lot about the Kurds, but are they a terrorist group?
No, they're more like a resistance fighting group against ISIS, and from what I've generally heard, they have always been on our side regarding the conflict against ISIS. I mean, there haven't been any terrorist attacks that I know of that are connected with them, whereas there are possible connections with ISIS regarding the San Bernardino. They had an influence with the Orlando Pulse and the Paris attacks and lots of them, but none of them are like connected to the Kurds specifically.
Okay, because it's like you look at our past actions. We have supported terrorist groups to fend off other terrorist groups that we had funded to fend off other terrorist groups that, that circular logic foreign policy of the United States has had. In all honesty, in order to stop this bullshit, I'd argue the United States needs to, first of all, stop backing any and all dictatorships. And to anyone that is like the lesser of two evils on this, I don't use this term very often, but you are a cuck if you believe in the lesser of two evils bullshit. Like let's say Darkon and JJ were throwing puppies into tar. We don't say, okay, Crusader, yeah, he threw a puppy into tar, but that puppy survived, so he's therefore not as evil. We'd say, no, fuck those two for what they did. They're both going to hell for it. It's like, and the same thing should apply. If there's two bad things, you don't go between which is not as bad. You should go for something that is not bad, period.
And you call out that evil bullshit.
Absolutely. And you got and people forget that all the time. And throughout, and we look at the waste of money that has been put on the military, and they keep approving increasing the military budget. And it's like, how the fuck is this going to be sustainable for the future? How in the actual fuck are we not going to cause a recession or even a depression? We fund all this stuff for the military that they do not need and probably have not requested. Yet we're going to not, try and rebuild infrastructure. Someone please explain to me how it makes any logical sense.
Exactly.
So a longtime subscriber is in the chat, actually. Pitt. How are you doing, Pitt? Yeah, Pitt has been subscribed to me ever since I was like at 11 subscribers. So yeah, it's been quite a while. Pitt, how are you doing, man? And he says in the chat, Kurds wanted freedom in Iraq before we invaded. Okay, so regarding the Kurds, I can understand. I mean, somebody, on the one hand, I would be supportive of possibly giving them support, helping train them to fight against the ISIS,
The ISIS.
Yeah, the ISIS. But on the other hand, person could make the argument if they were to start betraying us and attacking us, and we would be kind of training our own future enemies and so on.
Yeah, we sold weapons to other countries, and
like with the case of Afghanistan, if my history is correct.
Yeah, the Mujahideen.
Yeah, and with the invasion of Iraq, we didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. And even if we did, I bet fucking money. Actually, I wouldn't bet money. I would bet that those weapons were marked with the United States all over it.
I think there was WMDs found in Iraq. I would have to find a specific source, but from what I've generally heard in recent years, there have been. It took a while, took way too long, but still.
Also, even if they did find weapons of mass destruction, the war was unconstitutional anyway. I mean,
yep.
Let's just say for the sake of the point that they didn't find weapons.
Unconstitutional in what way?
They just simply invade. Bush just ordered that we invade Iraq, and Congress they just passed a resolution. Authorized.
He did it without Congress's approval. Is what you're meaning?
They didn't. What I'm saying is that he didn't have Congress officially declare war on Iraq. He just declared a war on terror. They passed a Authorized Use of Force Against Terrorists Act, basically giving Bush leeway to do whatever the fuck he wanted. And they didn't officially declare war. We've not even done so since World War II. And to me, that was the last war we fought where it had any legality behind it.
Yep.
And I would like to, instead of just declaring this country as weapons of mass destruction, we don't invade people's houses. Like if JJ was accused of murdering somebody, we go and get a warrant to search his house. We don't just invade his house, shoot him in the forehead, and scalp him to go find a weapon and see if it's not there, whether it's there or not.
And if it wasn't there, then you just killed somebody without any form of proof at all.
Yeah, and that's basically what happened in Iraq. I think around a couple 100,000 Iraqis have died due to the war on terror, or if not just the invasion of Iraq in general.
Hey guys, sorry, I don't mean to cut off, but we have been kind of commentating a whole long time, and we still got a little bit of article here to go.
It's fine. I had nothing else to say on that part. Go ahead.
Sean Ryan said the SDF forces were preparing for the Hyene offensive, but that progress has been hampered by a large numbers of IEDs planted by ISIS. excuse me. Another tactic being deployed by the remaining terrorists is the use of caves and underground tunnels and shelters. Many of the ISIS terrorists left in Hayin are foreign fighters whose ideology is to stay and fight till the end. He was quoted as saying, "This mission is ongoing and is not over." On Friday, administration officials underlined that the U.S. mission in Syria continues. "We're remaining in Syria. The focus is the enduring defeat of ISIS." U.S. Special Envoy for the Anti-ISIS Coalition, Brett McGurk, said during a teleconference briefing at the State Department, "We still have not launched the final phase to defeat the physical caliphate." He continued, saying that when it comes, it will be a very significant military operation because we have a significant number of ISIS fighters holed up in a final area of the middle Euphrates Valley. Hello, Ryan. How you doing? Even once the last area is taken, McGurk said, "You have to train local forces to hold the ground to make sure that the area remains stabilized. So ISIS cannot return. So this mission is ongoing and is not over." Ongoing for how long? I mean, can we at least get a projected date? I mean, even for the people who are for Remain, I think would like to know an end date of when we leave out and whatnot.
Yeah, to me, honestly, I'd argue that let's say Trump gets that second term, or if someone better gets elected, I think that they should end this bullshit of these proxy wars and all this. They should end it in as soon as possible, like 2021, when the election happens, like after they're sworn in and everything, because all this shit started 8 months after W took office. So who's to say that it shouldn't end 8 months after whoever is the winner of the 2020 election when they take office or get a second term or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And Ryan in the chat says that he's good, as I asked him how he was doing. Also taking part in the briefing, Acting Assistant Secretary David Satterfield stressed that the policy was President Trump's. "There should be no doubt as to the position of the president with respect to the broader issue of the U.S. enduring presence in Syria." Satterfield said, "We're there for the defeat, the enduring defeat of ISIS." Sorry that I slurred what I was pronouncing there.
Are you drunk? Are you drunk, Darkon?
No.
The hashtag drunk Darkon.
I am not drunk.
The drunk con. Drunk conservatarian.
Oh, God. Okay. A similar message came from State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert, who said in a statement that Trump has made clear that we are prepared to remain in Syria until the enduring defeat of ISIS, and we remain focused on ensuring the withdrawal of Iranian forces and their proxies. The reiteration of policy came as the department announced that coalition partners with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates in the lead have offered $300 million to help stabilize the Syrian territory won back from ISIS. Okay, I do not know of how much I would trust Saudi Arabia, but overall, if they really are giving money, I don't know. I mean, just taking this paragraph at face value, I would say if there are other people that are going to handle Syria, well, then let them. Why do we have to? But on the other hand, does anyone really trust Saudi Arabia to not set up their own proxy military group or whatever?
Yeah, don't trust the Saudis.
Yeah. Also, I am very skeptical of trusting other countries in general, where it's you look at North Korea as an example of this. They look like they're making progress with Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, and even Donald Trump. And look what happened. They fucked them all over.
Yes.
And you also look at the time that's been wasted, the money and resources to fund these groups in these other countries, to send them weapons, support, foreign aid, whatnot. I think it's time to stop this. These wars are proof that I'm pretty sure if any of these politicians voting to go to war or to do any of this, if they were to experience war themselves, they most likely wouldn't be backing this whatsoever. They'd be trying to use diplomacy over bombs.
Yep.
Ryan Howe also says in the chat, a number of people who are Trump supporters voted for him because they believe Trump will end the wars and neocon foreign policies.
And he's a fucking neocon himself.
Exactly.
He's a flip-flopper is what he is, apparently. Then again, this is the same guy who stated, "I will go after their families," and during his presidency sent missiles to Syria. Okay.
So, yeah, he is the Republican John Kerry, and yeah, his foreign policy would have been definitely unconstitutional, or maybe not unconstitutional, but it would have violated international law, which the United States needs to seriously stop doing.
Okay, Trump has long called for partner countries to contribute more, okay? And receipt of the commitments will allow the U.S. to redirect 230, I think they mean 230 million that had been earmarked for Syrian recovery efforts, but which has been under review since late March to what now we're, without elaborating, called other key foreign policy priorities. Aside from Saudi Arabia's $100 million offer and $50 million from the United Arab Emirates, other countries that have made contributions to the stabilization fund include Australia, Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Kuwait, Norway, and Taiwan, as well as the European Union. Also announced on Friday was the appointment of James Jeffrey, a former U.S. ambassador to Iraq and Turkey, as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's new representative for Syria engagement. The role will include attempts to reinvigorate an international process aimed at ending the long, deadly, and convoluted civil war in Syria. Since 2011, an estimated 500,000 people have been killed in the conflict and more than 5.5 million people have fled the country. The Syrian President Bashar al-Assad once looked to be headed for the exit, but Russian military intervention along with the support of Iran and its proxy terrorist militia Hezbollah helped to turn the tide, even as the U.S.-led coalition focused on the defeat of ISIS both in Iraq and Syria. Yes, and last episode of Strike Force, I had read a source that confirmed that Iran is supporting the Assad regime. Okay, so I'm thinking that by principle, actually no, I'm thinking as it stands right now, we don't really need to be involved. ISIS is pretty much on the run, and I think the Kurds might be able to handle it, along with all the other terrorist or terrorist-supporting groups in the Middle East might be able to chase off ISIS. Despite how much I hate al-Assad, the Assad regime, I mean, despite how much I dislike them, I think they might be able to stave off ISIS along with the Kurds, although at the same time, Assad and the Kurds might be fighting each other.
I just like to point out, so I was looking up the definition of a power vacuum just to make sure I'm getting it right. So let's say with these countries, with these power vacuums and whatever bullshit, I would argue that these countries should hold their own free, fair, and open elections. As to how they would pull it off, what type of electoral system would be up to them. I would argue that the United States, whenever we invade these countries and put in these pro-U.S. dictators or whatever, it tends not to work out. Nation building has been proven to fail. George W. Bush was critical of that, and then when he became president, he flip-flopped on that, and he was a fucking disaster. I would argue the United States should allow these countries to find out for themselves, to elect their own people as president or prime minister or whatever office that would lead the country. Let them figure out their own economic policies. And no, for the record, I don't believe in this anti-capitalist conspiracy theory that as soon as a country heads to the right of Milton Friedman's furthest right testicle hair, that we're just going to invade them and massacre them and their entire families.
Not only that, the war on terrorism has gone completely shitty. We've lost several resources, manpower, money, and good soldiers that we could use for more important and necessary things.
I would downsize the military and retrain those people into civilian jobs, and things like that, to be completely honest.
All right. Sorry, I wasn't paying complete attention. I was like getting caught up on my Twitter right there. But
what's going on Twitter?
There's just a couple of messages that I want to respond to, and your shitty ass tweet about me being fake news.
You are fake. You are literally fake news, Darkon.
No, I literally do believe that you are an anti.
I get that. I'm just making fun of you for saying it. I'm just gonna probably make fun of you until that debate. Everyone, Darkon is literally fake news. Strike Force is legacy media, and y'all should check out S-Man Live when YouTube uncucks my main channel.
Okay. At the same time, though, Okay, Ryan says in the chat, yeah, a number of Syrian rebel groups are backed by ISIS. If Assad is going to be taken down, then we need to find a way to do so that won't help ISIS. I'm not so sure if anybody. Okay, maybe I'm misreading his chat message there, but I don't think anybody here has mentioned even the idea of overturning Assad, or thinks that in the future Assad is going to get easily turned over and whatnot. They're being backed by both Russia and Iran, so I don't think Assad is going anywhere anytime soon, at least.
Mm-hmm. I don't imagine.
But maybe I'm misunderstanding that.
Yeah, I don't imagine that happening anytime soon, especially considering all these things have been dragging out for years. Any new foreign policy issues, that's what we're going to be dealing with when me and JJ and our in our 40s and 50s, seeing in the future, as we were just little kids when this all started, and now we're almost adults. Well, I'm almost legally an adult. He's legally an adult. Well, yes. We'll probably be probably in our 40s or something when the new foreign policy crisis of right now, then we talk about the next one and the next one and the next one.
Right. Excuse me. I mean, typically I think I've learned to sympathize more with non-interventionists than interventionists, and I don't think we have an interest to get involved with the Syrian war, at least on the al-Assad front anyways.
Yeah.
But would it make me a terrible person if I was to say that I did think and still do think that we had an interest in fighting against ISIS, considering the fact that they influenced terrorist attacks against us and our Western allies?
Okay. A few years ago, back in 2014, when I first heard about ISIS and they were on the rise, those were my neocon days. I would have agreed with you strongly. Even kind of right now, I still do. I mean, if they're launching attacks against the United States, then I'd say they deserve to get fucked with.
Okay, well, I'm not trying to say outright that yes, it was definitely a good thing that we actually sent in military forces, because we bombed them, and I think we did send ground troops as well. But it's not like I'm saying that was definitely the correct way of going about it. There was another alternative. We could have just helped support the Kurds with weapons and money and so on and so forth, and help them strategize to attack ISIS without having to put any of our own guys in the line of fire. But still, I think it's still more understandable for somebody to say that we had an interest in fighting or making sure that ISIS was torn down because of the fact that they had more direct influence in violence against us.
Yeah.
Al-Assad, as far as I know, has no influence, at least locally anyways. I mean, they might have killed some of our guys overseas when we done battle with them in the Middle East, but on our own soil, I don't think Assad or any of the other groups within Syria had at all an influence in, killing our people on our soil.
Quick question. What is the DarkCon doctrine? Because weren't you considered a neocon a few months ago when you did that whole 8 values thing?
Well, okay. I think the 8 values test was judging me wrong. I was saying that if we are, that this is a big if, by the way, if we are to get involved, we should not really be all that worried. I don't think we should be that worried that much about our relations with other nations, especially smaller nations, when our own people's lives are on the line. But that did not mean that I was saying that, yes, we should definitely intervene in other nations. I'm just saying an American first foreign policy, if we were to fight in a war, an America first, allies close second,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's not like I was saying that definitely we have to build up democracies in Libya and so on and so forth. I wasn't to the lines of, say, secular hawk, for example.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
I think at the time I was of the mindset that we should not have stayed in Iraq as long as we have. I mean, questionable as to. I mean, I think it's more up in the air as to whether we should have gone there in the first place. Just that's in my opinion, anyways. But we definitely shouldn't have had to stay in as long as we had. Is my opinion. Brian Howe also says in the chat, been hearing stuff online about how we should deal with Assad. That is my main criticism about a Syrian intervention, whether or not if it will lead to another 9/11 in the future. Guys?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought I had cut out there for a second, but anyway.
No, I'm just reading that. Go ahead.
Enough droning on about foreign policy, though. As interesting as it can be to talk about. This in the news right here, the most recent shooting that happened this morning, which will revive the gun control debate again in the United States.
Kill me.
Okay. Before we totally get off of foreign policy, though, Red Feather says something about that, especially since we invaded Iraq based on false intelligence.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. Multiple fatalities. I'm not even going to comment on that because we're going to get dragged out on foreign policy even more. Multiple fatalities in shooting at video game tournament in Florida, says Sheriff. Reuters. There was a mass shooting at a video game tournament that was being streamed online from a restaurant in Jacksonville, Florida on Sunday, and the local sheriff's office said there were multiple fatalities. Stay far away from the area. The area is not safe, the Jacksonville sheriff's office said on Twitter. We can't stress enough to stay away, many blocks away. Local media citing police sources said 4 people were killed and about 10 wounded. Well, that's okay. Do not take me as a crass son of a bitch, but that's like relatively low to other shootings. So I think multiple fatalities. At first I was thinking like that it was something around the numbers of 10 or something. Reading.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
But now it's just 4 people. And it's shitty that 10 people were wounded on top of 4 people dead. But still, that's, I don't know.
It's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah. The sheriff's office said 1 suspect was dead at the scene and that it was unknown whether there was a second suspect. Searches are being conducted, the sheriff's office said. Many people were transported to hospital, it said. The shooting took place at a restaurant at Jacksonville Landing, a waterfront dining, entertainment, and shopping site in downtown Jacksonville, according to local media. The business was live streaming a tournament for a Madden football video game. That's shitty. Why aren't you hosting Overwatch? No, I'm kidding. When several shots rang out, according to a video of the stream shared on social media. Red Feather asks, did they find the shooter? This article hasn't said so far.
I don't think they have just yet.
All right. In the video, players can be seen reacting to the gunfire and cries can be heard before the footage cuts off. One Twitter user, Drini Joka, if that's how you pronounce it, or Gyoka, said he was in the tournament and was shot in the thumb. Ouch. Wow.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
That really sucks, especially for a gamer, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that's terrible for a gamer too.
Was you about to say something, this man?
That hurt. Must hurt like a bitch. I was opening up a razor to shave, and I cut my fucking thumb. It hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, it does.
It was a deep cut too. It fucking hurt.
Oh shit! Did you cut it on the side, on the front, or right where the knuckle wrinkle's at?
I cut it kind of on the side. It's all right now, but oof, ran it under some water, stung really bad. I'm not going to do that again. But yeah, I've dealt with it, and I'm fine now.
Be glad that you weren't reading some dank memes from Wolf. Otherwise, you would have used bleach by accident.
You're damn right, motherfucker.
Okay. Hi, Brandon. How you doing? And Ryan says, ouch to that. Worst day of my life, Gyoka wrote on Twitter. I will never take anything for granted ever again. Life can be cut short in a second. I'm sorry.
You just voice cracked really fucking bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking something fucked up. Life can be cut short in a second, and then
was that on about the cutting your finger thing?
Emo.
Never mind. I'm not even gonna explain, but I'm just sorry. Red Feather says, well, I guess he is lucky he still has a thumb. Must have been a 22 or something.
Yeah, I've shot 22s. That would be accurate, Red Feather.
I was shot in the thumb. Yeah, there is no information omitted here that he actually ended up losing his thumb technically. So for all we know, he could have kept his thumb, but it might have been just a hole that did not completely take off his finger or his.
Or it might have been a 9mm that kind of grazed compared to hitting it dead center.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? The sheriff's office said its deputies were finding many people hiding in locked areas at the landing. We ask you to stay calm. Stay where you are hiding. SWAT is doing a methodical search, it said on Twitter. We will get to you. Please don't come running out. Local news footage showed several ambulances as well as firefighters and police officers on the scene, as well as roads being blocked off in the downtown area. End of article. Okay, what I think... I mean, it might revive the gun control debate for like a little bit, but it will
There's
not
no
go
debate.
on. It will not go. Well, okay then, Owen McDonald.
Okay, whatever. I mean, the thing is, these people are so short-sighted. It's like I'm not saying there's no debate, like Owen, in the sense of we cannot debate
an
this.
Arrogant, objectivist attitude.
Yeah, well, he's just a subjective bitch. Basically, here's the thing.
He's a subjective bitch that thinks his subjectivity is objective.
He's a soy boy, too. But basically, here's the thing. Gun control isn't going to make this work. Gun control is a myth in terms of how it can work. Gun-free zones cease to exist once a gun enters a gun-free zone. And essentially, it's just going to disarm innocent people. And also, I don't think... You know, when people are like...
And it'll kill people more than it'll help.
And when people are like, why do you need to own an AR-15? It's none of your business, bitch. Here's the thing.
Why do you need a Big Mac?
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. People in foreign countries that we fight use similar weapons, and they're able to fend off our government. We should have the same ability to do so, as our government is getting more and more tyrannical, to be completely honest. But yeah, I'll be right back because I got a phone call. So I'll see you.
All right, hurry back.
In a second. All right, bitch.
Whatever, ho. So Red Feather says, expounding on the point of the thumb being grazed, he says, or yes, a grazing. And Two Plebs is in the chat. Hello, Two Plebs. How you doing? This is a guy that I met on Mod Wayne's House of Fun stream, by the way. He says that seems unlikely. I think he was referring to the reviving of the gun debate. And really, if the gun debate does get revived, it's either going to be revived for a very short amount of time and not on a mass scale, as much of a mass scale as, say, Sandy Hook and the Parkland shooting. But if it does get revived, it's going to be very small, and then it's going to be, like, forgotten about. Mostly because of how there was only, like, 4 people killed and the 10 others were just wounded. And Ryan says it might bring back the game debate. I don't think it would bring back the game debate because this wasn't like violent video games.
This was just a Madden football game.
Yeah, exactly. Red Feather says it's in Florida. It's more about the stand your ground law at the moment that is under scrutiny. Yeah, I think I heard about that. Ryan,
I'm a fan of the stand your ground law.
Right. Ryan Howe also says I want a fat man from Fallout for duck hunting. Okay, why? So that you could like pose as Phil Robertson or something? Two Plebs also says, hey, yes, man, pretty good. Was talking about the 22 thing, man. If dude was shooting a 22 and killed 4, then he's a good shot. Chances he missed with a 9mm much more likely.
That's why I had to agree with Two Plebs.
And Ryan House says that what he said was a joke. Oh, man, we're not even an hour long with this program of Strike Force. Like, we've only been on for 40 minutes, and we're already on our last article. So, this from the Washington Examiner. By the way, I have to say for all of my subscribers and Twitter followers and whatnot, if you want to know a very good way to get informed, to stay updated on the news, follow a whole bunch of news sites' Twitter accounts, and check your Twitter main homepage often. You will come across them a lot, and that is how I ended up getting stacked up on articles here. All right.
Yep.
So, you know what? I think we'll go ahead and read that one article that was talking about a pharmacy robber being scared off by a gun owner. But I think we'll go over that.
Guns for the win.
Yes.
Damn right, motherfucker.
Yeah. Ryan Howe also says, anyhow, so Madden. Sounds like a bro jock gamer. Okay. JJ, are you a bro jock gamer?
Oh no, I'm a full-blown gamer.
What the fuck is a bro jock gamer?
I don't know. It's just a term.
It's just somebody that plays games like moderately, like sports, like think of 2K, Madden.
I barely play video games, fam.
MLB The Show.
Yeah, we can tell because you're more busy editing and streaming constantly, or joining other people's streams.
Yeah. Also, I have other shit I gotta do, so that's why I don't play games.
You only play Grand Theft Auto, bitch.
Grand Theft Auto is better, fam. You know what? If you call me any more insults, JJ, I'm just gonna call you Redskin from now on in the stream.
Oh, S-Man, are you trying to get my stream torn down? Come on.
I would never, Darkon. Never.
Yeah, you would never. You would never. Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, getting on with the news, and then we're going to be talking about a gun story after this. Multiple arrests made during Antifa protests of Blue Lives Matter rally, reports. All right, so this is, it's not as controversial on, well, okay, Blue Lives Matter is considered fairly controversial because if you dare say Blue Lives Matter, you will have some Black Lives Matter members saying, I hope you don't make it home to your family. You guys saw that clip when I once played it on one of my videos, right?
Yeah, those people were cunts.
Yeah. I want to read this from Two Plebs. That's the thing that stops me from playing a lot of games. Turns out when you crank out as much content as I do, you're pretty busy. Yeah, and I try to be consistent with my content upload, but unfortunately I cannot do like a daily response video. I just don't have that amount of time available on my hands. So anyway, we went from foreign policy to shootings to protests, and this is Antifa related. So you know that we are getting into that popular internet territory. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Damn, why do you leave?
Maybe his internet cut out or something.
Oh, I hope it's just that. Anyway, multiple people were arrested in Philadelphia on Saturday when anti-fascist groups gathered to protest a Blue Lives Matter rally, according to reports. Hi, S-Man, you're back.
Yeah, I don't know if my mic is working with me or not today because
okay.
It's fucking Sunday.
What the fuck is this? I saw Candace Owens being suggested on this video. Fuck that.
What the actual fuck?
I don't know. I don't know what.
Fuck would, honestly.
Fucking Candace Owens, man.
I mean, she's hot, but she's stupid. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Oh, so she's like a white blonde chick. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, it's a political summit, so I don't think Candace Owens is being hired by Washington Examiner.
Yeah.
Just being invited by her for a summit, or they're inviting her to one of their own summits. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Let me correct my own grammar. English, Darkon. English.
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
We're gonna deport you.
All right. As I was saying, so basically they arrested them because they are black. Red Feather says in the chat. Okay.
The black man.
So, starting over the article, multiple people were arrested in Philadelphia on Saturday when anti-fascist groups gathered to protest a Blue Lives Matter rally, according to reports. The specific number of people arrested remains unknown, according to a CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. However, Antifa groups that attended the protest took to social media to request assistance with bail.
Imagine my shock.
Imagine my shock.
Well, that's what you get for protesting 24/7, advocating for one of the most unlucrative philosophies on earth, that being socialism.
Socialism is just like pineapple pizza. It's killed 100 million people.
No. Socialism is like anything that causes cancer.
Okay. I gotta read this right here from Red Feather in the chat. My problem with Candace Owens is she seems like an opportunist. Preach, motherfucker, preach.
True.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Now this is why that I get so annoyed when S-Man keeps on bringing up shipping fanfics with me and Candace Owens related.
DarkCon, you secretly like it. Don't lie, bitch.
Maybe.
She's got an ugly ass, cartoonishly pointy chin. Anyways, why would I want that? And she's got a. Actually, I'm gonna say it, below average body, especially for a black chick, and her beliefs and personality is just toxic.
I wouldn't smash because mostly I have to agree with DarkCon.
Red Feather asks, what does S-Man hate more, pineapple pizza or socialism?
Both. Both are just as guilty of genocide.
No, pineapple pizza is better than socialism.
I still think that you would hold your nose and eat a full slice of pineapple pizza before you give up your private property, S-Man.
You're damn right, motherfucker.
Okay. Anyway, so anyway, as I was trying to say in that commentary, this is what happens when you go protesting 24/7 as like your full-time job, advocating for one of the most unlucrative philosophies on earth, that being socialism. You end up not having enough money to get bail to the point that you need assistance with it. Ha! Occupy ICE. What?
Occupy ICE?
I guess that's what they're saying here on the article. Yeah. I did not read that from the chat. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to get myself distracted with the chat. Otherwise, it's going to take me forever to get through this article. Occupy ICE, PHL, said on Twitter that at least 11 arrests occurred while anti-fascists demonstrated against the Blue Lives Matter event. Well, tell me, were you punching them because you suspected them without evidence that they were Nazis when really they weren't? That's my question. Abolish ICE Philly. More than 11 arrested. Still trying to find out numbers. More like 15 at Occupy PHL on Venmo for jail support.
I just saw what Ryan Howe put in the chat and I want to fucking throw up.
Pineapple with shrimp pizza. I like shrimp, but I don't know if I would like.
I hate shrimp. Fucking hate it.
And I like pineapple upside down cake, but I do not like it on pizza. I do not like pineapple or cake on pizza. Okay. Another group, Philly Socialists, said on Facebook some support people were arrested and brutalized by police. Jail support at 20th and Hamilton. Some support people who were arrested and brutalized by police at an anti-police brutality march. Well, I do not know what your definition...
Philly Socialist, you are fucking retarded.
I do not know of what your definition of brutalize is, because for all I know, your definition of violence and brutalization could be they just did not give the person their pronouns, so therefore it was violence. So I am going to excuse your statement because you didn't. I'm just gonna brush off your statement because you did not provide any evidence. So screw you.
Now, if they were beating them with hammers, yeah. But that.
Oh yeah. If it was actually physical, well then I can sympathize. But they haven't provided the evidence of that saying. They were just saying brutalized by police. And it turns out that the story of the police was actually the police were calling trans females he's and trans males she's.
Oh, I'm joking. It's the worst thing in the world.
I'm joking. That's me being sarcastic. And no, I don't hate trans people. That's not the point. The point is, I don't trust them with their definitions, with the typical definitions of what violence falls under with the Riley Dennis crowd and whatnot.
You fascist.
Dark fascist.
The dark fascist.
All right. So anyway. The Blue Lives Matter March was organized by a local group and started Saturday morning in Philadelphia's city center, CBS reported, but members of at least 4 Antifa groups sought to serve as a counter-protest to oppose police brutality, stop and frisk policies, and mass incarceration. In videos posted to social media by Antifa groups, chants of no justice, no peace can be heard, as well as no racist police. Yes, I would advocate for no racist police, but that doesn't mean that I generalize the police as being racist, much less am I for the complete abolition or nationalization of the police forces, and so on and so forth.
Police need to have a lot of work put on that.
So what's you guys' commentary on that as I bring up the next article?
Sounds like they did their job.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't given... I don't know. I did not see any actual evidence that they that there was any violence that took place. So I don't know. It seems kind of ambiguous. This report does to
me. Maybe it was a disturbing the peace thing.
Maybe it was that. I mean, what do you define as disturbing the peace? Because I do not know if
loud noises preventing people from doing their shit properly, like keeping them from sleeping.
Maybe.
Think of what was her name that said that go around to like certain like people in office and keep them from sleeping or something like that.
I don't know for absolute certain. And okay.
What's so funny?
Saw it on Twitter, man.
What was it?
I gotta say that is actually kind of funny. It is me flipping the bird at the camera, and DarkCon has posted a tweet saying, "At the DarkCon, when I say I am pro-choice." No way.
We Red Feather said, "We know how much the left hate people doing their jobs, though."
Right.
Kind of true.
So I'm going to get caught up on the chat before we actually get on with the news. Dang, I let it go on too far. Oh, okay. So, Two Plebs says, right after Ryan House said pineapple with shrimp pizza, Two Plebs said, she seems pretty crazy, which I think we all know means two things. One, she'll be nutty in bed. Two, it's not worth it.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely not worth it. And Red Feather says, ew, Ryan, lol. Oh, okay, he's saying ew to the idea of shrimp pizza. Two Plebs also says, wouldn't Occupy ICE be getting a job with ICE? Isn't that anathema to communists? I don't get it. Red Feather says, Papa Soros will take care of his protesters.
Oh, good. Upside down pineapple pizza? What?
I think he's making reference to how I said I like pineapple upside down cake. And so he was combining pineapple upside down cake with pineapple pizza. And so pineapple upside down pizza. That sounds pretty messy. You have all the cheese and everything melting on the bottom and just
it's like a deep dish pizza.
Yeah, except it's dry on top. You got the dry breading on top and all the toppings and greasy toppings are on the bottom. I don't know.
That probably wouldn't end up as well.
Yeah. Red Feather says they're stupid. They equate Occupy ICE with Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to bring up any conflations or comparisons between the two because I do not know much about Occupy ICE, to be honest. Lol, Brian. We know how much the left hate people doing their jobs, though, Red Feather also says.
Yeah, and I think
so Candace is the Black Harley Quinn by Ryan Howe.
Oh my god. But I can imagine that those leftists, they're going to need some of the ICE to occupy their injuries if they get into a fight.
Oh, by the way, Zach, Two Plebs said anathema means worst thing in the world, basically.
Okay, well, I still don't get of what he's trying to reference.
I'll just look it up.
Last chat, but I don't know.
And
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not gonna try to. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to.
Something or someone that. Something or someone that one vehemently dislikes.
Okay.
So DarkCon and Owen's views of each other, essentially in a nutshell.
Damn straight.
DarkCon, you know I'm right, bitch.
Yeah. Probably so.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that image I just tagged you in DarkCon. I mean, am I wrong?
Red Feather asks, conflate? Well, okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna comment any more on Occupy ICE, Red Feather, because I don't know hardly anything about them. Forget everything that I said about Occupy ICE, aside from them lacking evidence with their statement.
Oh, that's the left in general. Are you shocked they lack evidence?
Or they inflate their evidence, like with the whole 350-something shootings a year in the U.S.
And a majority of them tend to be justified, yet they don't pay attention to police brutality against white people.
The left.
Not only that, a mass shooting in the United States, it can just be like 2 or 3 people getting injured.
Yeah.
I mean, was that the word you were looking for? Okay, that was the word that I had used, Red Feather, but I'm not gonna go on.
He's not
like
that
I said,
much.
I'm not gonna go on it further about Occupy. So I was like, oh yeah, the left lack evidence. Hashtag not all. I'm just saying. You need evidence for claims. What? Who knew? Says Two Plebs Talking News. Yes, tell that to our good friend, Owen McDonald.
Or
like, Google it yourself. What?
Or Hawk.
Yeah, and also, I can imagine if Owen were to watch this, he'd be like, "Lol, no, DocCon. I would never be a friend of a transphobic right-wing Christian bigot." Or some stupid bullshit like that. I can just see that, and then you just tell him
He
to
just bitches about anything possible.
Who stated that me and him should be friends? I don't get that. I mean,
you said to our friend Owen, and I can imagine. And I said in response, Owen would be like, "I could never be DocCon's friend." And then you're like, then JJ tells him to eat fried chicken and watermelon again.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now that you put it that way, I probably put. Let me talk. Let me gather up my words here. I probably wouldn't put it past him, now that you mention it, because he probably cannot read sarcasm, which I was being sarcastic right there.
He's a spastic, unable to be sarcastic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard one single sarcastic moment of that guy, which is why he is all the more awkward and uncomfortable to be around with his socializing skills.
Seriously, Owen is just so miserable. He's like, "This is terrible, no, and this is terrible, and this is terrible." It's like,
you know what?
It's not even bad.
That's a good point, and one could almost worry about his mental state for that.
He left Twitter for a week because of that, and I'm like, thank God, because one, I don't have to hear, I wouldn't have to hear about his bullshit.
Getting a smear campaign done against us, man.
Well, all you leftists, I would say in response, I hope Pinochet haunts you in your dreams, motherfuckers.
I hope he haunts you on your every waking day.
All right. So anyway, last article of the day, most likely because it has now been an hour that we have been live. This from CNSnews.com by Natalia Mittelstadt. That must be like a Eastern European name right there.
What's her name?
Mittelstadt. Actually, that sounds German, actually. So it's not that far Eastern European. Okay, but anyway. Armed robbers scared off when pharmacy owner shoots store window. Okay, so let this be an anecdotal piece of story of why guns are needed, so people can self-defend. Self-defend, motherfuckers. Okay.
And they say that good guy with a gun is a myth.
Yep.
Right. 2 armed men entered a pharmacy in Princess Anne, MD. Okay. I get that's a weird name for a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
No. Princess Anne. That's a little town that's in Maryland, I think is what it's saying. 2 armed men and, well, I don't know. Does MD stand for Maryland? Because that would be quite odd.
I think it does.
It is. MD is for Maryland. What do you think it was?
Odd. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because if it's from Maryland, well, then that's quite odd. I mean, a northeastern United States country having lax enough gun laws for somebody to own a gun for self-defense. I mean, okay.
I mean, it's not as bad as California.
Okay, yeah, there is that. I mean, there's a little piece of evidence for me that Maryland allows some guns. So thank you for confirming that for me, CNS News, Mrs. Mittelstadt. 2 armed men entered a pharmacy in Princess Anne, Maryland on Monday and were scared away when the owner of the store pulled out his own gun and shot a window. Wasim Amir was outside his store looking in when he spotted the armed robbers and his employees with their hands in the air, according to a report by 47 ABC. Okay, this for all the leftists out there, I am an equal opportunity article reader. So this guy, he ain't white, and I am calling him the good guy.
DocCon.
Yeah.
DocCon is Dark Khan is checking his privilege. Take advantage of this, leftists.
I'm checking my privilege and pointing out an example of a Arabian guy actually being the good guy and self-defending. Mind blown! A white conservative Christian male actually talking good about something that where the Arabian guy was in the good. No, but I'm just gonna stop.
Okay, yeah, we get it. Move on.
Okay, yeah, I'm going on too long. I looked through the window and I saw my pharmacists and other staff. They're holding their hands in the air, so I realized it looked like a robbery. So before I see anything else, I pulled out my gun, said Caramore pharmacy owner Wasim Amir. Amir said that he attempted to shoot the armed men once with his revolver. Cool. Revolver. What kind of revolver was that, I wonder? But missed and shot a store window, which shattered. The suspects then fled and the employees called the police. We never had anything like that, you know. No incidents like this, but when they came, I was ready. I was prepared, said Amir, who has owned his pharmacy for 17 years. As soon as they came in, I was ready to shoot. The armed suspects, 22-year-olds Cody King and Justin Bull, have since been arrested by police. I'm glad that they arrested them, and they're in their custody now. So I'm relieved, said Amir. Okay, so let this also be a piece of evidence as against the whole white privilege myth and whatnot, and police specifically targeting non-white people, because it's not like, when I read this story, I do not get any implication that they started harassing Wasim Amir about his gun ownership or anything like that, like people would suspect the police would do with a black or any non-white person for that matter.
But I will say there was a casualty. Rest in peace, window.
I hate to break it to you, JJ, but windows aren't sentient.
Windows' lives don't matter, you racist.
Windowism is a new part of bigotry. Also,
fuck. All right, so I'm gonna stop screen sharing that and probably going to end the stream as soon as we have made our commentary ended and got caught up on the chat. Red Feather says unsarcastic spastic, referring to Owen as we were poking fun at him.
Right, motherfucker.
Probably Russian, says Red Feather. I do not know what he would be referencing to there when he says probably Russian. Two Plebs Talk News says, anyone else notice that Pinochet probably killed less communists than Mao? Just saying. Okay. Well, it doesn't make him any better of a person, really. Red Feather says, yep, Maryland is the abbreviation, or MD is the abbreviation. Okay. Maryland believes in corporal punishment for children.
Thank you.
Huh. Okay, so they take their so that's, I don't know. So they're rather conservative when it comes to capital punishment, apparently, or they're the American version of conservatism, to be more precise, when they put out corporal punishment on children. You see, I'm kind of more on edge when it comes to giving the death penalty to children, because, especially if they kill only one person. For example, the Parkland shooter, I couldn't give less of a shit, and I would say.
Wait, I think you're misconstruing corporal punishment with capital punishment.
Yeah, I probably am. Please explain.
Because I think corporal punishment is like spanking.
Ah. Okay. I feel stupid. I'm not going to comment any further, so my bad. Two Plebs Talk News says Dark Khan confirmed Black Lives Matter supporter. As he was, he's commenting on me, raving over how it was an Arab guy who was in the right here. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I was right.
I'm gonna be cringing at myself looking back on this.
You most likely will.
Red Feather also says that where DO5 lived and CPS wouldn't do anything at first because they deemed it corporal punishment. Okay, I'm not.
Oh my god, that just reminded me. You remember the one bitch who covered that to death? She's back.
Covered what to death?
the Daddy 05 bullshit. Joy Sparkle BS is back, and I saw her image, and my reaction was like,
Joy Sparkle, why?
JJ.
She's turned into a blimp.
Yeah, I saw that. I just saw her picture. I was on the bus. I was on the school bus on the way home, and I see she's made a new video. I looked at the thumbnail, and something didn't look right, so I clicked on the video, and I had my earphones in, and everyone could hear me I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, what the fuck? She looks like that blueberry from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh yeah,
she didn't turn blue yet. I felt bad for laughing, but god damn it, it was funny.
Why do you feel bad about laughing at that? I mean, why did I say Daddy 05? Yeah, Daddy 05, big piece of shit. But Joy Sparkle at the same time also is to an extent. Rate your bullies.
Oh yeah, I mean, I felt a little bad, but I wasn't like gonna apologize. I'm like, I didn't really give a shit. I just saw it and I'm like laughing my ass off. I'm like, holy fucking shit, that is hilarious. And now the chat is turning very cancerous because Hawk is bitching about those celebrating John McCain's death. Fucking hell.
Why would you celebrate John McCain's death?
The leftists are celebrating because of the fact that he fought in the Vietnam War, and the Trumpists are celebrating because the dude doesn't like Trump.
Okay.
Gosh, yeah, I saw what he's
with celebrating his death, but I don't know if I would go on long about how people are celebrating his death. I would just
I would say he was a good man. That's it.
I would just if I was in that group chat still, I would just type a little message saying, "I don't approve of his death or the gloating over his death." Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, when
they would re-at me for daring to even just mildly disagree.
So you know what? They're setting a precedent. So when Bernie Sanders dies, I'm gonna fucking laugh if that's how they get to be. If we get to being like Bernie Sanders, Bernie Sanders, he had some of that Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and it was a little too capitalist for him, and he had a fucking stroke.
No, he died. He died from a stroke because of the. Oh fuck!
I'm going to read up on some of Red Feather's messages here. He says, "Oh, so that's why my right privilege check has been revoked." Daddy 05. I don't care how she looks. She is not the best person in the world, as she and her lovers claim. I'm not celebrating, but I will say the world feels a little more peaceful now. I don't know. I mean, okay. I don't know if I should say this on air. Actually, no, I won't say that.
Actually, just when the stream ends, just
Okay, but anyway. So, you guys have anything more to comment about the news? We talked about pulling out of Iraq and Syria.
Dark Khan's brain is in the gutter, y'all. We need to.
He's trying to impregnate Syria.
Yeah, and also Dark Khan, you need to leave your degeneracy.
Wait, what? There's a girl named Syria out there? I want to meet this chick.
Leave your degeneracy out of this Christian live stream, goddammit.
I'm sorry, but we aren't that kid-friendly on these live streams. We talked about pulling out of Iraq and Syria. The recent shooting that happened this morning. Oh, Loudmouth, you caught the very bare end of this stream. Entered in too late, man.
How's it going, Loudmouth?
All right.
Yep, Humane and BTK. Humane admitted he totally fucked up, so now they're cool again. Actually, it's restored my confidence that these streams aren't entirely autistic. They don't end entirely shitty.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Humane admitted his faults. I'm shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Humane has finally admitted that he actually is human.
There is a God.
Thank God, because he was pissing me off a lot of the time lately with his arrogance.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you say that you thank God?
Huh? Of course. I thank all the gods. Zeus, Cthulhu, Thor, and all the gods. I thank them all.
Just whatever one actually exists, right?
Whatever God exists, and I have no clue what God that might be, I thank him or her.
Or they?
What about you bigoted transphobe? But Loudmouth should be the god everyone worships because he has a dog. So therefore, that's the reason why.
Yeah, the reverse of dog is God.
You said Loudmouth for a second there. I thought you said humane. My bad.
No, I said dog is God spelled backwards. Okay,
it is.
Okay,
keep that in mind.
So dogs are God.
Yes, exactly. What else? You mentioned that you messaged Barry about spraying that link for Zoe's medical. Did you hear back from him?
Yeah, he hasn't responded back.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't even seen my message. I mean, I can't really blame him because I can only imagine he's getting.
Yeah, he probably gets a lot. So yeah, give him time. But yeah, I was really hoping because he's got a big following. I got to because today I got Creationist Cat Vadim Newquist. And I got him to retweet it.
Ah, okay. You know, I need to also talk to my 2 cents because I'm a patron of his, and he might actually take up on the offer of advertising her GoFundMe.
I wonder how much.
Who else? Maybe I should message Undoomed. I don't know. He's a little hard to get a hold of, but I might be able to.
I wonder how much money she's made to help pay for her, medical bills.
Yeah, I'm trying to get like as many big names as possible to like retweet that link because they can spread it way faster than I can.
All right. Hey, before we actually get off the air, since we have another rock-ribbed libertarian with us, I just want to get your commentary, Loudmouth. Like, have you heard about this? Let me pull up the article for you. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, think so. What about it?
I mean, I just want to ask, what is your opinion on that? And do you think that it was legitimate for us to get involved and fight against ISIS in the Middle East?
Well, yes, actually, because ISIS is different. I'm not for the United States getting involved in regional conflicts, but ISIS is launched terrorist attacks against both us and our Western allies. Like, what is it? When Trump dropped the mother of all bombs on that ISIS plant, I think that was probably the best thing Trump ever did. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no problem with that. I did have a problem with Trump's strikes on Syria because the Assad regime is not threatening America, okay? Assad is a bastard. He's a brutal dictator, all right? And he's committed atrocities, but he's not threatening the United States.
I think it's debatable on how a person could have or should have actually handled ISIS, but I think, in my opinion, that it is definitely far more understandable to be fighting against ISIS than, say, Iraq or Saddam Hussein's Iraq in the early 2000s, for example.
Correct, exactly. But ISIS is very different. ISIS they legitimately want to conquer the world. I know their ability to do so is obviously limited, but that is their goal, and they are launching violent attacks against our allies, against us. All right, on top of their insane human rights atrocities.
I mean, forget about what their intentions were, wanting to supposedly conquer the world, which is a pipe dream of theirs.
Obviously,
look at their actual actions. I say, which was the domestic attacks against us.
Correct, exactly. So,
Red Feather says in the chat, yes and no, because the CIA created ISIS and Al Qaeda. I actually did hear something about that. I mean, I would have to actually get into some deep research about that. But
he's absolutely wrong about that. It actually was the lizard men who created ISIS and Al Qaeda. the lizard people and the crab people. Crab people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I did hear about there was some. I don't know. I mean, it would be like a rather big claim for me to be making, for me to say the U.S. was giving money to ISIS. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Any further.
I think I'm gonna be doing one of those editorials, Dark Con, on perhaps the greatest article on the internet. Because honestly, I looked at it and I was reading it, and I'm like, whoever wrote this article, thank you. It's from beinglibertarian.com. It's saying that bitching about the means of production is retarded, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, Read the main highlights of the article, though, because we do not need to hear every single sentence of the article being read. And then obviously we'll link the article down below in the description for a person to read it.
Of course. No. Well, here's what I plan on doing. I'm gonna take a screen cap of a paragraph. I'll sum it up. I'll interject, and then I'll keep doing that. They mentioned something about how it would actually go back to capitalism if it went to Marxist ownership of the means of production, and that there are actually businesses where that is already happening, yet they still survive, and they can survive under capitalism.
That's the thing. I mean, if you really did have a live and let live policy within your anarcho-communist society, well, then people will, of their own free will, start their own businesses, I say. And that's the reason why I think anarcho-communism ultimately is unattainable, because ultimately, how are you going to prevent people from creating their own businesses within an anarchist society without using violent force?
Beings are essentially worker ants.
Right.
Yeah. Also, I hate how they try to speak for all workers. It's like, Loudmouth, you're a worker. Do you think you're being exploited?
No.
Yeah, I'm a
job. I like the fact that they hand me a paycheck that allows me to keep my house.
Yeah, I'm a blue collar worker myself. I mean, as I tug on my blue collar, but yeah.
Zach,
In all seriousness, though, I sometimes weld at my shop, but most of the time I deliver metal parts is what I do. So pretty blue collar.
Could be better, could be worse.
Yes.
Yeah, I could be having an actual welding job for myself, and which would be actually far more productive and fun as compared to driving a truck. But at the same time, it'd probably be a little bit more physically strenuous, and yeah, I would probably end up.
Yeah, I definitely would. But,
you poor bastard.
It's a pretty relaxing thing for me.
Red Feather also said in the chat, "Lol, for real though. Yeah, it's deep stuff. Goes back for years and years. But the most recent catastrophic failure of the CIA is 9/11, and that's a ton of rabbit holes of research on its own." Okay, so Red Feather is a little bit more on the conspiracy theorist side.
You think?
Conspiracy theory!
But at least it's still nice to hear his take in the chat there.
Yeah. I honestly,
Obama launched
I don't
more,
put much stock in conspiracy theories.
Obama launched many more drone strikes than Trump has, Red Feather said.
George, actually, in fact, Obama, his presidency, he expanded our wars, went from 2 to 7. He did more drone strikes than any administration, and yet he's ranked the 12th greatest president in the history of the United States.
But yet the leftists say, "Don't you dare talk about the god that is fucking Obama."
Yeah, Hawk in general. Some hate.
Red Feather says, "Yes, I am." Okay. Isn't Red Feather a female?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
I've had her on the stream.
My bad. I've just been. It just clicked to me. This whole time I've been referring to her as he. When it just clicked to me right now. Actually, there was a stream that she participated in. Yeah, actually a female. So my bad.
Huge brain fart from Zach.
My bad, Red Feather. My bad. I'm sorry. That might be because Obama was president for a full 2 terms, says Ryan. How?
Yeah, we have to wait until the end. Let's say Trump is a 1-term president. Then, of course, he wouldn't have had time to do as much or more than Obama. If he has 2 terms, which I doubt he'll get a 2nd term, but who knows?
Yeah, let's just hope he doesn't get a 2nd term.
It'd be funny if the Republican Party dies this November and then, the Democrats die in 2020. That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, and then, that's not going to happen.
I know, but it should. Just for the sake of humanity, it should.
Let's just hope that, just like how Republicans were back when, what was his name? Lincoln was president. Hopefully, a third-party president.
Yeah, he is technically the last person to get elected as president without being call a Republican of the National Union Party, but everyone knows that was just the Republicans in sheep's clothing. Zachary Taylor, if I'm not mistaken, was the last Whig to be one of the last people other than the Demo rep to get elected, and I like James K. Polk a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, thanks for having us on DarkCon.
All right.
Yeah.
To finish off the chat here, Red Feather says, LOL, no big deal. And Ryan Howe also says, did you misgendered her? And Red Feather says, no snowflakes. And Ryan Howe has a little stuck out tongue face there. And I was supposed to be, okay, I am supposed to be later today having a private conversation with Lapis and Ham. That's a whole different story. By the way,
you're not making it so private, aren't you, by telling us here?
Okay, Ray in the chat says, there's no parties. It's light and dark forces. Wake up. Ho, okay. So, yeah. I'm sorry.
By the way, guys, stretchy ice cream is a thing now.
What the stretchy ice cream? What the fuck is what?
Think of it like mozzarella cheese, but it's ice cream.
All right. So anyway, we'll be ending off the stream soon, and if that conversation between myself, Lapis, and Ham doesn't go down, well then I'll probably have like a hangout stream so that we can like talk longer, because Loudmouth only did come on for like a very short amount of time and just gave his quick take on ISIS intervention or war against ISIS and so on and so forth.
Can we speak for a bit after the stream ends, just because I have a question? It's not gonna make sense asking it live.
All right. Ryan Howe also says light side and dark side. Luke, I am your father.
Zach, you're being cringy again. Stop it, man.
But anyway, this has been the Dark Conservatarian, the intellectual Loudmouth Reviews, the Libertarian Paladin, S-Man Speaks, and the Crusader, JJ Skinner.
The Juicator. I'm kidding.
Shut up, I'm not Jewish.
This has been the Dark Conservatarian. This has been Strike Force. And catch us later. Again, reminder, chat with S-Man on Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Do not miss that. We'll be talking about abortion and probably other political topics as well on my channel. So see you then, and God bless. You have a great day as well, Ryan.